So I'm standing here with Rebecca Allen from PK Property Buyers Agents up in Mossman. The reason Rebecca and I are here today at the moment in Milsons Point is going through an off-market 3-bedroom opportunity that has come to my attention, and I've raised it with Rebecca because she's actually viewing on behalf of some prospective clients who don't know me yet and haven't seen all of the off-market opportunities that are actually in the area, and that's a big part of the role that these guys do for their clients. Curious to know, how are you guys finding the market at the moment?
We're finding it an interesting market. It's probably what most people would call a normal market, where good properties are selling really well. 12 months ago it was a little bit different. All the properties were selling well. Now the prices are sort of going north, south, east and west. So it's really important to get an understanding of what the market's actually doing out there.
One thing I've definitely observed over the last few months is that auction clearance rates are average. But I actually don't like the auction clearance rate stat. It's not really a true indication of successful sales. I think one of the biggest things to look at is time on market and actual sold prices. And one thing that we're seeing is a lot of stock that's overpriced, sitting around on the market for a little bit longer, and it kind of gives a false economy as to what the market is actually doing and the strength of buyers that are out there. While we're seeing less buyers per property, we're still seeing some really good results, especially in the area around Milsons Point. And I think that's a really positive thing. It just means that we've got to pay a little bit more attention to our sellers and our buyers and make sure that we're finding the right property for the right buyers. Who are your main buyers? Are they sort of wealthy out-of-towners? Are they locals looking to downsize? Are they kids?
Look, there's a common misconception out there that buyers agents only work for the wealthy, and I'd say that's not the case at all. We just actually purchased for a lovely young guy who was moving from Dubbo down to Sydney, out in the St Mary's area, because that was where was the right area for him in terms of what he wanted to get out of his purchase for longevity. We purchased a lot of properties around the northern beaches in suburbs like Dee Why and Manly with excellent capital growth, low vacancy rates. So it's really about understanding what the client who comes to us really needs out of that, and then assessing the right strategy to move forward. But we'll buy for anyone. I guess our business was started because we want to protect buyers in the purchasing process and give them a voice, and to make sure that they can do the purchasing with confidence.
I must say, sometimes we meet, I personally can meet up to 100 new buyers or speak to 100 new buyers each week, and sometimes you hit a voicemail and you play a bit of phone tag, and occasionally you do miss 10 or 20% of new inquiries, or they're just not quite ready at the time. It's nice that you guys actually focus on that to make sure that, like you said, they have a voice for when the right property comes up, and you're probably a little bit more proactive when they're actually too busy just earning their income and feeding kids and just going about life.
Look, these days we can all end up being too time poor and too busy, and that's probably one of the largest motivations where people come to us, because they don't have the time to invest in going out there every day and finding those properties. We're doing that 24/7, so it really just gives them the opportunities to get through.
There's been a lot of bad press in the media of late. For the last 5 years, 60 Minutes has been saying that the market's crashing. Have you got any insight into the current market, or what you think is happening moving forward?
It's a funny one. I mean, we probably all saw the 60 Minutes report on Sunday evening, and even Louis Christopher, who was referenced in there, has come back and critiqued the way that he was portrayed. I mean, look, you've got low interest rates, you've got low unemployment, you've had good stability within the economy. It's a good time all round to look at purchasing a property. There shouldn't be anything holding you back from doing that if you need to do that in this market.
Back to what we said before, I think right buyer for the right property also requires the right time.
Absolutely, and you've got to work out what's the right timing for you. Each buyer's going to have a different mentality behind that.
Or investment strategy even.
Absolutely. So if you're looking in the market at the moment, don't just hold off for another 6 months thinking, hey, the property prices are going to come down, because you've actually got to look and go back to what you said earlier. Look at each type of property within each market and really get an understanding of what that type of property is doing, because it could be going really strongly, and then you might miss out and wonder why that's happening.
Well, that's about all we've got time for at the moment, because we have got another property to see before we clock off for the day.
Fantastic.
One final question. Chicken schnitzel or Parmigiana?
Oh, schnitzel all the way with gravy.
Good girl.
Thanks.